The South China Sea is one of the biggest flashpoints in Asia, involving China, several of its neighbors, and the United States. The 3.5 million square kilometer patch of water is one of the world's busiest shipping routes, and vast oil and gas reserves lie beneath the seabed. For decades, there have been competing claims over who controls these hundreds of tiny islands, reefs, and shoals and their surrounding waters. China's claim to almost all of the South China Sea is indicated by these 9 dashed lines. It says history backs up its claim because before 1930, no one disputed the sovereignty over the territory. But the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan say parts of the South China Sea belong to them. Tensions have simmered over the years, and sometimes they've boiled over. In 2012, for example, the Philippine Navy harassed Chinese fishing boats and arrested the crew of one vessel. That escalated into a tense standoff between the Chinese and Philippine navies. Over the past 6 decades, China, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Vietnam have occupied islands in the South China Sea, reclaimed land, and built military bases on them to assert their sovereignty. China's efforts on this front have been the most aggressive. According to the US government, since 2014, China has reclaimed more than 3,000 acres in the Nansha or Spratly Islands. Take a look at the satellite images of Yongshu or Fiery Cross Reef. It was a sandbank in August 2014, but by June 2016, it had been transformed into a seaport with an airstrip. China says its reclamation projects are to meet their civil and defense needs. But the US, which has allies in the region, has accused China of being a bully. It has said China is reaching too far, too fast, and militarizing the islands. In response, the US has flown Air Force jets over the Chinese-controlled islands and sailed warships near them. It calls them freedom of navigation exercises. It's also conducted joint military exercises with the Philippine Navy in the South China Sea. China, in turn, has accused the US of rattling up tensions. In 2013, the Philippines brought arbitral proceedings against China to an international tribunal in The Hague. China refused to take part in the proceedings. Despite that, the tribunal ruled in 2016 that China has no legal basis to claim historic rights to the South China Sea. China rejected the tribunal's ruling. Since then, the Philippines and other claimants have done little to challenge China's continued development of the islands it controls. But after all these decades, the dispute remains unresolved over who rightfully owns these waters and the rich resources that lie beneath.